I have faith that the Constitution will not be saved in Washington. I have faith that the Constitution will be saved as prophesied by Joseph Smith. But it will not be saved in Washington.
One of our brethren some years ago spoke of the payment of tithing as fire insurance. Nonetheless, the word of the Lord is clear that those who do not keep the commandments and observe the laws of God shall be burned at the time of his coming. For that shall be a day of judgment, a day of sifting, a day of separating the good from the evil. I would venture a personal opinion that no event has occurred in all the history of the earth as dreadful as will be the day of the second coming, as fraught with the destructive forces of nature, as consequential for the nations of the earth, as terrible for the wicked, and as wonderful for the righteous.
Tithing will keep your name enrolled among the people of God and protect you in the day of vengeance and burning.
We do not say that all of the saints will be spared and saved from the coming day of desolation, from the atomic holocausts that surely shall be.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. Joseph Smith History, 1838. He said there was a book deposited, written upon gold plates. And then quoted Malachi, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. And all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly, shall burn as stubble. For they that come shall burn them, saith the Lord, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. If it were not so, the whole earth would be utterly wasted at his coming." But the day had not yet come when Mormons who will not hear the voice of their Christ should be utterly destroyed from among the people, but soon would come. Joseph Smith, in the introduction of the Book of Mormon, therefore tells us that the Book of Mormon is written as prophecy and revelation. Predictions of the future with the time, day, hour, dates for the time, the day which had not yet come, but soon would come. So, last night, came up with some ideas for the Book of Mormon Christian Tales of Horror. Follow me if you want to live. There have been too many deaths by Mormons following Nelson. Too many Mormons are dead because they followed the living prophet of Jesus. Mormons are getting slaughtered in these latter days. The church is doing nothing to save you. They're not warning you in advance. And a little sister missionary leaked Oaks. Little sister Jessica. March 14th, 2020, Oaks held the new missionary training session, spoke to them on a Saturday. And in chiasmus, he was quoted. And he told the mission presidents and their wives that 2020 was going to merely be a test by the church, a trial run by the church. That the church was going to do something for 2020. They were running a test. For the second coming of Jesus, which he refers to as the end of the world. That the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the worldwide enemy of mankind, who are they that shall come and burn everybody. The very people Joseph warned you about. And it's sad. There's a Community of Christ Mormon whom I saw the other day being recommended, and recommended again because I didn't ban it. He titles his channel The Kings and I. So he's into classic plays, musicals, The King and I. Yul Brynner. But At first, I was thinking, oh, yeah, he's Mormon, Brighamite Mormon. And then I looked closer at his thumbnail picture and went, oh, wait, no, he's Community of Christ. The Second Coming and the Constitution, which is surprising because the Community of Christ doesn't acknowledge anything after a certain time period because they don't like the Brigham Young tampering that took place. And so because they can't trust Brigham Young, a lot of the revelations of Joseph Smith were not approved and accepted. And so this is very interesting, that a Community of Christ Mormon is talking about Joseph Smith's 1840 prophecy. And it could come from the original Doctrine and Covenants, where Joseph Smith talks about the Constitution, merges it together with other stuff, which means he's studying, which is also unusual. But nonetheless, yeah, the Community of Christ has a new female as the head of their church now. And when she took office, she immediately handed over everything to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. She sold it for several $100 million, except for the bones of Joseph Smith and Hiram. The church wanted nothing to do with those. The church, she handed over everything. The Community of Christ is now full Christian. She gave up the Book of Mormon. She gave up Joseph Smith. And there are Community of Christ followers, members, who are not happy with this. There is a division in their church. They have told me, coming to my videos. I have not seen or heard from any of them since. But nonetheless. So maybe he is one who found out about 19 July 1840 from me. I have yet to watch the video. It's only 12 and a half minutes long. But nonetheless, you can see how he's getting it wrong. That even the Community of Christ, under Joseph Smith III, who was too young when Joseph Smith was assassinated, and when he was an older man, went to this valley to see what was going on, and then realized, no, I need to do something about it, and started his own church, using his father as the justification for it. And then won a federal lawsuit to be the true successor of Joseph Smith. Oh, the Brighamite Church doesn't tell us this? Because the United States was shutting down this church, dissolving it from the face of the earth. Oh, but it's never going to be taken from the earth, Travis. Well, it did. It still doesn't exist. The church never reincorporated the religion. They incorporated a corporation for the non-existent religion. Because they had fooled Mormons into believing the religion still existed and never was taken from the face of the earth. Oops. They lied. Amazing. Who are the father of all lies? Who is the father of all lies? But nonetheless, and so Joseph Smith III knows nothing of Joseph Smith's original religion. And so, yeah, the ice cream cone temple is the dead giveaway of the Community of Christ. Right there at the four corners, crossroads, of where Brigham Young led everybody to believe was going to be the latter-day Zion. except for John Taylor, who said, nope, it's going to be destroyed. Both the Community of Christ and the Temple Lot, who were the other winners in that lawsuit with Joseph Smith III, the Temple Lot won the lawsuit to keep the land for the temple, and they'd leave it barren and refuse to sell to the church. They will die first before they give it over to the church. And so hilarious. You're all wrong. You should have read Joseph Smith's words. And so, yes, even as a Mormon born and raised, I myself was led to believe we're going back to Missouri, to independence, to build Zion. And I had not known of John Taylor saying, nope, it's going to be destroyed. Adamon Diamond, which is code word for the Danites of utter destruction, and the day that shall come shall burn as an oven. And so, yeah, it was just a Mormon myth in the Brighamite Church of the Constitution hanging by a thread. That was not Joseph Smith's words, that was Brigham and Heber's referring to it by not referring to it. Brigham Young refused to publish it, even though he referred to it and created the Mormon myth. And so, yes, it is no wonder that the nephew of Martin Harris is the one who is causing this in the latter days, in the time that Joseph Smith gave us, in the day and hours, and the dates given to us by Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon, which, yes, are right there in the Bible. But it says no man knows the day or the hour. I can't tally up. It's just too many of dumbasses who kept repeating all these 8.8K videos. No man knows the day or the hour. Cause I'm a zombie, yeah, yeah, yeah. Cause I'm a zombie, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think for myself, I'm no good on my own. I can't have critical thinking cause I'm a slave to the man. Blah, blah, blah. Cause I'm a zombie, yeah, yeah, yeah. Cause I'm a zombie, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't understand why people want to be controlled by others. It makes no sense to me. And the arguments about everything in life is about who controls others. That's the big battle. And that's not how it's supposed to be done. Parents are complaining about all forms of entertainment, trying to ban them to protect their kids, rather than teaching their kids what to be in life, so that the kids choose what they watch, not be a zombie to the social media platforms. And so for YouTube, for example, I choose what I watch on YouTube. I don't let YouTube choose what they want me to watch. And it's sad that this is part of the algorithms to keep you guys away from my videos. The majority of people who come to my video only came because YouTube recommended it. To have followers that actually go, oh, I got a notification that Travis did a new video, is rare. And those who are relying on YouTube to notify them of my newest video is also experiencing some problems, right, James? YouTube has an all-out hatred for me. All I'm doing is trying to save your lives. And Mormons don't care to be saved. They have an eternal hatred for anyone that dares go against them. And that's the whole thing. Beam and mote. They're projecting. Mormons are the enemy. Mormons are antichrists. Mormons are wicked and evil because they refuse to be independent agents. And so when the prophets get up and say stuff at the pulpit of conference, Mormons then have this elitism in their mind, that they are the chosen ones, they are perfect, and whatever they do is not a sin, it is not a crime. And we are witnessing the many deaths at the hands of Mormons and by Mormons. We're witnessing the severe crimes. All of the fruits are being manifested of the evils and the consequences of following the living prophets of Jesus. It is death, it is wickedness, it is crime, because they're cooing this government and overthrowing the world, stealing their money to cause an extermination event. And so thus, my Trump Ice 2025, Armageddon 2, Civil War 2 against Mormons. So, the St. George Anchor has some designer classes. Very curious, very interesting. It was a new side of her character that I had never known before. I'm watching. And so, we got a couple more AI problems that, again, nobody's shutting them down. See, they've told us that it's AI, and that it, as an AI program, will fix itself over time. A couple of years ago, Elon Musk came out and said, in a couple of years, AI will be smarter than humans. He lied. And if you know, he has his own AI systems, Starlink, and he's putting chips in people's brains, which is what everybody feared during COVID vaccination time. And here Elon Musk is doing it and nobody's complaining. But it does not have independent thought. See, because people who are neurologists, who are doing research on the brain, have figured out what parts of the brain work for what parts of the body. And so people who have a lack of motor coordination, by putting in this chip, it's a computer chip, it's not an AI. It is designed with that knowledge of human anatomy. And so when it's plugged into the brain, it then has what should function for that part of the body that's not functioning properly. And it acts in place of what it should be. And so it's not going to be a case where the human is all of a sudden going to freak out and go on a murder spree because it's an AI chat GPT program. It's only designed to run the human body's motor functions. That's it. That's all. People are not being told properly of what this is. We're being lied to. We are being led to believe that it is an independent intelligence, and Star Trek told us that we need to have the prime directive and, treat it as an entity that needs rights and privileges. We need laws on the books protecting AI. No! It's a computer program. And so other computer programs using AI are more vicious, like a malware virus. They're going around causing fire sales. They're checking for weaknesses in the system. They're sabotaging the various systems, as we have been witnessing over the years. When they say that it's a computer glitch, no, it's AI. The company put AI in their system and it fails. And instead of removing it, they're saying, oh, it'll fix itself. It's intelligent. It's not fixing itself. It's the programming. And so Microsoft has their upgrades on a regular monthly basis. It's not an upgrade, it's a downgrade. But that's the way AI functions, is that it runs and it sucks. And so the programmers have to go in and go, all right, we need to reprogram what we botched in the first place. And they keep botching it and keep botching it and keep botching it. And so now our military is running military tests by putting AI in fighter jets. Oh, this is not good. It's like they've watched Terminator and they know exactly what they're doing with it. This is not good, because AI in fighter jets are programmed to independently follow the procedures. They do not have the human response. And so, yes, they do not identify children as innocent parties. They do not identify innocent civilians. Not Islam, they're all part of Muhammad's terrorism of anti-Jew agenda. But in other situations, if Russia were to use it in his war against Ukraine, they would be going after, specifically targeting the people fleeing when it started, the millions of people that fled Ukraine to save their families. And that is the big difference between Ukrainians and Islamists. Islamists' parents stayed with their families to become victims to have the world blame Israel for. Whereas Ukraine knew very well, we need to save our kids. And so those who stayed behind are staying behind to fight. They are willingly staying to fight. And Islam, they're not innocent civilians. Just like the Ukrainians, they're not innocent civilians. They chose to stay and fight. Same with the Gazans. They chose to stay and fight. The kids who are hungry, who are deformed from the counter responses of Israel, that's the parents who are to blame. It is a war strategy of Islam to put the civilians, the women, and children on the front lines, to hide behind them. That is a well-established war strategy of Islam. And all the world press just keep falling for it. They refuse to report the truth. It's disgusting. But anyway, AI, now in fighter jets. rising machines. We're all going to die. The other AI glitch from yesterday, as there were 3 that I reported yesterday for you. Musk. He has a new AI grok, whatever the hell it is. And grok, as AI, was programmed to hate the Jews. And so thus, it regurgitated that programming in its system to hate the Jews. And people complained, and Musk had to take it down so that it can be reprogrammed to hate the Jews at another time in another way. We all know Musk hates the Jews. He loves Nazi Germany. He gave the Heil Hitler. Don't be fooled into thinking he's changed his ways and he's repented and blah, blah, blah. He's a neo-Nazi along with Stephen Miller. The enemy of mankind. And so no, a person who hates mankind cannot be granted amnesty because of all the great technologies he's doing. No, lock him up. If not, hang him for his war crimes. Should we do the thumbnail picture last? Or just get it out of the way and go right down the list? STD Barbies. Little girls can now obtain a Barbie with gonorrhea, herpes, syphilis, HIV, and type 1 diabetes. It's just hilarious. Oh my God. I'm all for Barbie. I would have liked to have had a Barbie. I would have liked to have had the fashion plates that my sisters got instead. But my parents were hardcore Mormon. No! Boys cannot play with girl dolls. They must play with boy dolls and become gay so that we can then punish you for being gay. But I want to play with girl dolls. And so Barbie was specifically designed by the owner to give girls role-playing role models. You know, Dr. Barbie, Lawyer Barbie, Astronaut Barbie. It's not about privileged white rich Barbie who's supported by Ken. That was the beginning, I guess. The trad wife Barbie. Traditional values Barbie. No sex for Ken, but only when having babies. Ken gets very grumpy. Barbie and Ken get a divorce. Divorced Barbie. Oh my God. And so, yeah, with dysfunctional families that have emerged since the family proclamation of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Family Separation Proclamation. You have kids that are no longer able to have hope in their lives becoming the American dream. And so Barbie is now creating STD Barbies, starting with diabetes type 1 Barbie. You know, that's why the garbage pail kids came out. And trad wives were upset. Kids were going, cool! This is awesome! Nobody gets it. Raise a child in the way they should go, and when they're older, they shall not depart from it. So if you raise a kid in alt-right Mormon family, you get what you get, mommy. So, despite Trump pushing up the next round of tariffs to August 1st, right before the Book of Mormon's warning. Remember dates? He still issued tariffs on 6 countries. Japan was one of them, as he had threatened previously. And the stock market pumped and dumped, and then pumped it back up again for yesterday. Warned you, here it was. It's insider trading. The president is not allowed to mess with tariffs. That's Congress's job. There's a reason why Congress has to do it and not the president. And this is why insider trading on the stock market. Nonetheless, it's being done and nobody's stopping it, just like AI. But Senator Lee tried to put in the big beautiful bill to stop China from buying up Utah farmland. He doesn't care about the rest of America. It's all about the church. To allow the church to purchase the land for the latter days when they conquer everybody. And so this is why Nelson has been buying up Utah land for temples. Those are the guys. It's really petty change for the church to build a temple now. They no longer have to follow the financially prudent spending in the church. Since 1995, when they got involved with the stock market and their LLC companies, Ensign Peak Advisors being the one exposed. Their other dozens of sources of revenue have not been exposed by a whistleblower. This is what nobody gets. Everybody assumes that everything is tithing. Every source of income goes straight to Ensign Peak Advisors. No. They all have their separate LLC company, all have their separate offshore bank account. Thank you, Australia, for exposing that. And Canada, all of that the tithing gets laundered through Brigham Young to violate Canada's laws, thanks to the Fifth Estate in Canada for exposing that. But nobody's stopping the church. Church is getting away with everything. They are destroying the world. Oaks got leaked. Nobody's supposed to know about this. This was a super sacred secret. And Oaks leaked it. Sister Jessica leaked it. And Oaks did not keep his temple covenant paths being violated. He's still around because he's in pole position. Ballard did the right thing. Why not you? Breaking news! We all knew what was going on. He gave tithing membership stats to Tim Ballard and was going to have to testify to that. And then he just magically dies? Whatever. Whatever. And so again, Oaks, why aren't you keeping your temple covenant path like Ballard did? You too, Nelson, Holland, Bednar, Cook, you Uchtdorf, Eyring, all the way down. You've all violated it. Do the honorable thing like a samurai. Or a ninja. Do it. I double dog dare you. And so Lee had to pull it because he violated Senate procedures. And so I mocked him. Comedy ensued. And so now Trump heard the voice of Lee and is now going to stop China from buying up farmland in the United States and take it all away from them so that Lee will be able to give the land back to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You need to understand that Brigham Young stole the property by the shedding of blood from the natives when he arrived. This is not Brigham Young's land. He murdered to acquire it. And then the United States received it from Mexico in the seceding of the land the very next year. The United States, hearing that Brigham Young was the leader out here in the valley, said, "You can be governor of the territory of Utah." And so, in 1851, in February, thanks to Stanford finding the documents, Brigham Young, as governor of the territory of Utah, incorporated, for the first time ever, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. For the state of Deseret. Already back then, he was cooing America, plotting to coup America and take back the land. This is what the church is doing now. They want the land back that they murdered natives for. They are the enemy, in case you've forgotten, in case you're still listening. So this is all Lee is doing. He was one of those murderers. John D. Lee was specifically placed to have a Brigham Young wall to keep out Americans from colonizing here in the West. So north and south as a wall of defense. And so when pioneers tried to come through by John D. Lee's area, he slaughtered them. Women, children, slaughtered. And then Netflix took over. That was awesome. There was no John D. Lee. It wasn't about John D. Lee. It was about the two women. It was not about being literal history true. As the church complained, this is not literal history true. Ooh, this is not what happened. Really? You wanted them to tell what really happened? Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want this instead? Dear God, Mormons are so stupid because of the church leaders. And so the pattern of Trump, I don't understand why nobody's getting this yet. He repeats it every single time. He bullies and name calls in advance. He singles you out and boom, attacks you. Just like a bully. And so then, after blowing it all out of proportion, making you the enemy, he then sends in ICE, the military, the police, the FBI, the DOJ, to get you. He said it. Michael Cohen says that when he does that, he's not just bullying you, he's giving orders. So when he calls you illegal, when he calls you a rapist, when he calls you a terrorist, when he calls you a drug dealer, a child trafficker, he's giving orders to lock you up. And still, the deep state dumb press can't figure this pattern out. God, Democrats are just worthless. They're feeding right into Trump and destroying America. And so when people defend themselves, if they don't roll over and die, Trump escalates. See? They're terrorists. They're attacking us. Just like the bully. Hey, Four Eyes, give me your lunch money. No. Oh! You're attacking me. And so the bully then justifies in beating you to death. It's exactly what Trump is doing. Bullying behavior of a little child 101. And so if you just submitted, Trump would utterly destroy you, and that would be the end of it. But no, you're standing up and fighting for your life, liberty, and property with the title of liberty. And Trump is destroying you with an utter destruction. You're not getting it. He then victimizes the victims because they stood up for their rights. And Trump wants war. When he said peace, he meant after you're dead. When you're gone. That's the peace he's referring to. That's why Trump, the peacemaker, getting the Nobel Peace Prize. And that was just for the Iran attack. and Gaza help. Don't read any more into it. Trump will. But nonetheless, it was all for show, so that Trump will continue to help support Israel against Islamic terrorism. So, audio got leaked. Hot mic of Trump saying that he wanted to bomb Moscow and Beijing. Wait, isn't the church busted in Beijing? Yep, yes they are. Banned from Beijing. Good job, Mormons. Good job. So yes, Trump wants war. He is not a peacemaker. Islam, likewise, they want peace when Israel is exterminated from the face of the earth. And so this latest Hamas ceasefire deal, no, they're going to violate it, as usual, as they have been this whole time. And yet the news, they said they're looking into a peace deal. Oh, they said that they will release 10 hostages. Oh, we know what's coming. They're going to violate it. They're only going to give half of the body parts of the dead or something like that. You know, the children who are dead rather than their dead mommy. God. I don't understand denialism. Ever since my sister pulled that stunt as a little kid, I don't understand it. That people could blatantly lie when I know what the truth is. I don't get it. And yet now we have AI to lie, to teach us to lie to others. I don't get it. Follow me if you want to live. Because it's tragic that you just want to die by following the living prophets of Jesus.